Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your master of martial arts, and the host, coincidentally enough, of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. It is Saturday, which means it's Shaolin Saturday, though Shaolin is not mentioned once in this movie. Oddly enough, there are no women at all. Well, there are no main female characters at all in this movie. There are a couple of women. Uh, One was a madam at a brothel, and one was just a couple of them there were just responding to Beggar Sue, or pardon me, he's not Beggar Sue. Anyway, we are going to be talking about Jackie Chan's first big hit, Snake in the Eagle's Shadow, even though apparently it was just called Eagle's Shadow when it was released here in the States. Be that as it may, before we get too much further into it, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Really appreciate it. And once again, if you could watch for just 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. It's a little longer than usual. We'd really appreciate that as well. Helps with the algorithm. All right. Having said all that, let's get ready to do some kung fu fighting. As you can tell, this movie was directed by or produced by Ng Si Yen, and it was Jackie's first comedy movie, comedy kung fu. Although there's a bit of drama in it because without conflict, there's no drama. That Chen Lung is Jackie Chan at this point in time. Um, and Yin Wu Ping was the fighting instructor, and there were a couple others credited here. Snake in the Eagle's Shadow. There are, as far as I can tell, there's no real wire work. Something Wu Ping would literally later become synonymous with wire work and flying around. But in this one, there's a little a little, it's a regular undercranking except for a few shots which don't bother me too much. Sometimes I think they in the 80s and 90s they undercranked quite a bit, and you can tell that it just looks way too fast. Either that or it's sped up when you watch it on YouTube. Snake in the Eagle's Shadow was from 1978. It was released March 1st, 1978. Runs 98 minutes. It's about right. And it's full of kung fu fights of various styles, mantis, eagle, and snake, to say the least, and some other interesting things, some swordplay. It's quite a good movie. Some people like it better than Drunken Master, which was the next movie they made, which was really what set Jackie on his path to stardom. I like it quite a bit. It's not quite as. It's just different, although it's similar but different because a lot of the same people in it. Wang Jiang Li. Uh, let's see here. Uh, um, Yen Sui Ten, who was Beggar So in the next one. He's Pai Chang Tian in this one. Wang Jiang Li. Dean Sheck is in it, who's really funny and got really good chemistry with everyone, even though he's a louse in most of his movies. And then just many, many, as we'll see. So let's get on with this here before too long. Yin Wu Ping. There's our villain, Huang Jiang Li, of course, excellent kicker. I want to say he's Korean, yeah, South Korean, Taekwondo, Tong Soo Do. Just his kicks are amazing. I mean, once again, as someone who's studied martial arts, the kicks are amazing. So the whole thing revolves around the battle between the snake style and the eagle claw style. Now, eagle claw is traditionally northern style. Uh, this one is a southern style. Once again, read Blake's book all about the style to find out the differences. But it's generally, I mean, see, he's got the two fingers, and the snake is a very underrated style. As someone who was born in the year of the snake, I appreciate it. This guy doesn't last because there you have it. Here we have, I'm going to call him Beggar So, but it's Pai Cheng Tian. We'll call him Pai, who is kind of loafing about. He owes back rent. He gets out real fast. but we get to see a bit of his kung fu. We get, there's two kung fu fights here already, and off he goes. So this obviously is a more modern Hong Kong, or wherever it's supposed to be set at this point in time. Let's see. Nope, doesn't say. But here we have a kung fu school with a bunch of extras who are not students. I mean, they kind of have it, but these stances, I mean, and the school is supposed to be adequate, I suppose, at best. The subtitles are dub titles. It came from, I got this off the Internet Archive. It is a Blu-ray ripped from the Blu-ray, and it's a gorgeous picture. But it's got the original English dub, English dub, and then it's subtitled in English, but it's a dub title. They're saying the exact same thing. So, if you want nuance, you're not getting it from this subtitles. Jackie is a poor orphan who's just, he's abused. He's just the janitor and has no friends. This guy, there's a dean there who's just a bully. And there's his partner in crime. They think they know the eagle claw or the dragon claw and tiger claw, right? They're very funny. And Jackie's got good chemistry with everyone. I mean, just knowing, obviously, he's worked with all these people before. They beat him up. He runs away. He's sad. And then now we're going to another school. This kid here, right there, is wandering around trying to get, and his dad's buying him a place so he can beat people. He learned to be a fighter, and he's useless. I think that Tino Wong, maybe, Blake to the rescue here. But it's a pretty funny thing. So, Beggar Pi gets kicked out, and he has a fight, and then Jackie shows up, and he has to flail about. He's from the Hung Tai school. They just want to beat him up because there's a school rivalry, as always. Jackie has to flail about and pretend like he doesn't know what he's doing with the staff. And then Pi helps him out. This would be repeated again in the Drunken Master. I mean, this set the story for many, many kung fu movies overall. And Simon Yun made a living playing Beggar So for quite a while, or Sam Seed as he's called in Drunken Master. I thought about reviewing Drunken Master, but I figured let's see if I can find this one. And lo and behold, there it is. And I haven't seen it for a while. It's really good. I mean, the fights are good. Jackie just is so acrobatic at this age. I don't know how old he was. This is from 78. Let's see, was Jackie born? 54. So 23, 22, 24 years old maybe, which is amazing. He's so young. And it's hard to believe he was bullied because look at the strength he's in. So we've got a wandering priest who wants people to convert to Jesus. That is Roy Horan. And he played a missionary Russian. He played that role several times. Let's see, in Snuff Bottle Connection and Game of Death 2, No Retreat, No Surrender. He's quite good. He didn't do too much more after 1991, but he did a lot of, he's very, he's a white guy in the middle of, I don't know where does it say where he's from? American actor and martial artist. So, he probably could have been a bigger star if he'd have tried to hook up with Jackie a little more often. Anyway, he does a good job here. We think he's just a priest at this point in time. So, and now here we go. First act, Cat in the first act. So Jackie as Chen Fu has brought, we'll just call him Fu, which is tiger in Cantonese, has brought Pi home and given him a meal, and Ah Wu there. Oh, that's Tino Wong, so I was wrong. And he's their new cook. Dun dun dun. Yep. Spoiler alert. So Jackie's used as the punching bag, and they beat him up because he doesn't know how to fight really. And Ah Wu, you think Ah Wu is a good guy, but he's not. So Pi takes pity on him and teaches him a little kung fu. Well, he on purpose, accidentally, and he left all these marks in the ground. And there's Jackie's horse dance, which in the next movie, when he's Wong Fei Hung, has to be much lower and more better, but he doesn't know. So I just like the caption here. He's begging because he's seen this missionary following him, and there you go. So here's one of the. There are like three women in this movie, and I like that she calls him Abuelo. Then he knocks on the next door, and the madam comes out and invites him in because priests. So here's one of our villains, and he knows who Pai Chang Ten is, and they have a fight, and he gets stabbed by the priest, who's not really a priest. And he jumps up over the wall, so martial spirit. These two guys are doing what in Choi Li Fut we called Nine Star, where they're toughening up their forearms. They're hitting each other, and it can be very painful until you get used to it. Oh. And there's a shin star, which is the same thing but with your legs, and is even worse because your shins are so ouch, ouch, ouch. Sorry, your humble agent did have humble beginnings. Even he had to start somewhere. And our stances, oh my gosh, that would not have flown with our instructors. This guy's got his arm down at his side. At least this guy's trying to look better, but dude. And now we've got he's going to practice with the magistrate's son to show how good his kung fu is, and that does not go well. Please, ching, and the kid punches him in the face, so he gets annoyed, makes him look bad. His dragon fist is awful. That's a pretty good cat stance, though, for Jackie there. And now he runs away, and old Teacher Lai, or Teacher Lee, Teacher Lai, is annoyed at him, beats him up, and then both of them, this guy, his arm's bleeding, Jackie's beat up. But Jackie goes back, steals some medicine, and apparently a medicine just drinking medicine will cure a stab wound. That's very common, or internal medicine and your own chi helping out. So we find out who the boss is here, and these three, and we a mystery guy, but we already have seen him, so I don't. Spoiler alert. So he's fine. He'll be all right, and he's going to teach him gung fu, which snake fist style, which is part of the five Shaolin style, five animal Shaolin form, is the snake. Snake, leopard, tiger, dragon, and stork, or crane, heron, whatever you want to call it. And he just, makes Jackie work. Just teachers will torture you back then, especially. I mean, when we paid people to do it when I was in Kung Fu, but they did not try to burn us. But look at Jackie. Look at the air he achieves and lands effortlessly. The man, it's just amazing. Now I know that the Peking Opera School just tortured their students, and if they killed him, it was legal. But he excelled. He and Samo and Yen Biao. I like this shot. It's a good shot. So Jackie's tired because he's been practicing all night, and old Dean says Teacher Lai is like trying to make his floor dirty, and this is a whole sequence which is really well done. And Jackie slides the sponge under, and he falls. Everyone laughs at him, and then this guy shows up. The provincial champion is Lung Chen Tien, and he's Mantis style, but he challenges the masters there, who they do a good job at looking awful, and you have to be pretty good to look that awful. And he just beats the stuffing out of him. You can see that he's got his mantis fist there, or his mantis style, which is also for bad guys it's generally a northern style, but it's Chow Gar, if I remember correctly. And nice kicks, pretty. That's a little high for a southern style, but once again, so he beats up the two temporary masters, and all the other students go to the other school. And then the master returns, who's also the MacGuffin there because they're after him, Master Hung. And I'm trying to see who that is. He shows up later. That's the crew. I went down a bit. So we have that there. Master Hung is Chen Yao Lin, and he's good. And this guy, hurt his hand while he was breaking bricks. Bad chi. He has no chi control. So he beats him up, and then our three provinces champ shows up and beats him up. And then Jackie remembers, never use snake fists unless you must. There you go, and bring Mantis style. Jackie manages to make him kick around his own students. Pole fights for a while, beats him up, and goes back. And Pi has left. He's left him the book so about Snake Fist, so he should learn it. And there's Wang Zhangli, who's pretending that he knows. So he challenges Jackie to show him off, but he doesn't kill him because he's looking for Pi, because he wants to kill the master, the final master of the Snake Fist style. That's what it is. But there's his Eagle Claw, and he just pretty much, and this happens in, it's Wang Zhangli and Drunken Master. It's repeated, but in a different way. Um, Jackie wasn't nearly as cocky in this movie as he was as Wong Fei Hung. So cat's torn it up, and now the cat's fighting a cobra. This is an uncomfortable scene to watch because I don't like the cat. I love cats, and I'm very fond of snakes, and I don't like seeing either. Now, I don't think that's a king cobra. It's way too small, but the cat wins, kills the snake, and they probably kill it, and they probably ate it or dissected it for medicine and stuff like that. But a smaller cobra isn't as deadly as the king cobra, but the king cobras are so much slower. That's why mongooses, they're so much faster. That's why the story is that they could beat a king cobra, but king cobra's food source was generally other snakes, and it was so far away from the original energy source that they were big and they were slow. So if you got bit by a king cobra, you were just standing there asking it to bite you. There's your heptology, study of reptiles. Well, there's your snake lesson for today. Who says Zenorama doesn't provide education? And their murder mittens are very fierce. Boy, I miss my ginger girl. And so we're getting through this pretty quick, and I have not played any more of the actual trailer. So there's another training sequence, and Master Pi is challenged. He has told Jackie that Jackie should not call him Master, but he does anyway. He just ignores that. And they have a fight, and he does a Hurricane Rana, or a Frankensteiner, if you will, and then beats him by strangling him to death. They were not, and they just leave bodies laying around. I just wonder, people coming across them, do they search them for money? What do they do with these bodies? They never bury the villains, rarely. They don't hardly bury the heroes. But we find out that Ah Wu is a bad guy because he tries to poison our heroes. But fortunately, they jibber jabber so much the tea goes cold and they replace it. And now we're going to have our final fight. He crawls up like this. He crawls up this wall just like Spider-Man would. So he does have a wire attached to him here and that's obviously his stunt double, Simon's stunt double. And you can tell when he turns to the stunt double, he's pretty good, but because they have plenty of him fighting with close-ups and things. But when he's doing kicks and spins and very acrobatic things, they just put a wig on a stuntman who's probably Yen Biao. Would not surprise me one bit if he's under that wig. And now he admits who he is. Jackie defeats him. And a good fight. Jackie gets nicked by the sword in real life and was bleeding. And they just left it in. They just kept the cameras rolling. As we'll see, it's not the only injury he had. So even early on, he was getting injured in his movies and showing it on camera. Wang Zhangli challenges Pi to a fight. Eagle Claw versus Snake Style. Shang Quan Yi Yan. He's just known as Shang Quan in the credits here in Wiki. So it's a good fight. It's a good movie. The fights are spaced properly. We're hearing the fight right now. Now that musical score is something else. That was it's credited to Chao Fu Long, and I thought it was pretty. I didn't think it was that great. I think they needed a regular one. It is a synthesizer, so it's unusual. I don't know. Does he get can I click on his name? No, I cannot. So, most of the time they were just stealing it from someone else. And there he goes. There's the eagle, the cat crouch. I don't know what you'd call that. So we tell them what it is. Wang Zhengli does that triple kick, and to get that, and that's how fast he is. They don't even have to speed it up. Once again, I'm probably at 20 frames per second. That's what the Shaws shot their fights at. So it looked a little faster, but not ridiculously fast, like when they're trying to be comedic. So it works really well. And then he kills him. Jackie would later on never kill anyone in movies when he was making his own. The bad guys would just, fall over or something. And now the final Wu shows up and he's like, tries to stab him, but Pai is too fast. And he's like, I poisoned you. And they're faking it. And there you go. Jackie got kicked in the face by Wang Zhengli and lost a tooth. And they just left it in the movie. Just kept going. And it, makes him look pretty tough, actually, because yikes. I've read his book, his autobiography, and it was pretty interesting. I mean, once again, it's an amorphous sort of thing where he tries to go in chronological order, but it doesn't always work because, it's 40. He did it, I think he wrote it in the 90s. It seems like I read it then. He probably should write a sequel or a longer version, but then he died. Then they beat him up a little bit, but he dies, and they go off. So he doesn't like the name Cat's Claw, and they change it to Snake in the Eagle's Shadow, which is, I had the title card there, but I edited it out. And that's the end. It's a good movie. You can watch it for free on Internet Archive. I highly recommend it. It's got the English dub and the Chinese dub, and it's quite good. I mean, if you like Kung Fu. Oh, now we get English. You rat bastards. Let's see if I can get some more music. There we go. So, having said all that, that is our movie, Shaolin Saturday movie, Snake in the Eagle's Shadow. It's rightly regarded as a classic, and it deserves it. So until our next assignment, watch out for those Shaolin Woodmen. And this is X7, signing off.
Seraphim Kirillexis proudly presents The Eagle's Shadow, starring Jackie Chan. Critics call him a physical genius of supernatural ability. They say he's the ultimate in his art and pure excitement to see in action. They call him incomparable. His name is Jackie Chan. This is Jackie Chan. And this is Jackie Chan. And this is Jackie Chan. And this also is Jackie Chan. The Eagle's Shadow, the film that critics acclaim as the best and most entertaining action film of the year. Also starring Simon Yen as Jackie Chan's teacher.
How'd you like the taste?
Co-starring the deadly Wan Jan Lee. And Roy Horan. Jackie Chan in The Eagle's Shadow will dazzle you with his power and excitement. The Eagle Shadow is the film that audiences stand up and cheer. Jackie Chan is the snake in The Eagle Shadow. Catch it at this theater soon, in color, rated PG, from Cinematic Releasing.